And the players exchanging a few friendly words prior to tip-off, the getting-to-know-you stage of the proceedings. Welcome, everyone. This is what you've been waiting for. The NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kelley, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. And now we take a brief check at the matchups. Our starting five for both teams. First for the TrailBlazers, Lillard and Matthews pair up in the backcourt. And playing at the center position, one of the Lopez twins out of Stanford, 7-foot banger, Robin Lopez. And there's Batum, and it's Aldridge in at the 4 slot. And then for the Golden State Warriors, Curry and Thompson, the splash brothers in the back. And at the pivot, a terrific defender and all-around player, the Australian sensation, 7-footer, Andrew Bogut. And there's Iguodala, and it's Lee in at the 4 spot.
You know, the Warriors made big strides last year, and part of it was a retooling of the team, but they also got a lot of help from the group of rookies that they had. And a number of those rookies played prominent roles down the stretch and in the playoffs.
Well, Clark, as you said, the Warriors did lean on their rookies as the season went on. 4 of them in all, with 3 coming in the draft and 1 walking on the roster. Big help, Steve, from them in the opening round of the play.
Yeah, pretty remarkable that a team can do that well in the postseason, relying on so many rookies, but it speaks to their maturity, their character, the group they've put together, and it's very promising. That was unbelievable.
How about that? Look at that. And here's Portland. Lillard, the pass to Matthews. Lillard. Back to Matthews. 3-pointer. Good. Matthews has got himself on the board with 3 there.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically, no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there. You know, I like what I saw last year from David Lee and Steph Curry in terms of leading their team. They talked about it before the season, and you could see it in how they played and prepared.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, guys, the head coach for the Portland TrailBlazers gave me just a couple of minutes. He said one of the key points for them defensively will be limiting the production of David Lee, adding he's a guy who can score inside and out, plays with great energy, and his passing really opens up their whole offense. We've got to keep him off the glass and always see ball and man when he's got it. Basketball 101, Kevin. We'll see if they can execute.
Thanks, Doris. And David Lee had been viewed around the league as a guy who put up good numbers, but didn't really help you win. So it had to be a great feeling for him to lead the Warriors on the season they had this past year.
Well, I think this is the first time Lee has really been in position to win. He was drafted by the Knicks. They had really bad teams at the time, and the Warriors now getting going, adding to that roster. So I think it's unfair to suggest that Lee is not a winner based on his overall record as a player.
And he did lead the league in double-doubles last season, so he was performing with high individual numbers and certainly helping the team. He hits both from the stripe.
You know, guys, Portland had one of the worst benches in the history of the league last season. You know, they didn't get much contribution there. It was almost like they went into every game playing 5 versus 12.
Thompson from long range. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in.
Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the 3-point line? Come on.
He can fly, can he? He'll make you forget he's a point guard sometimes.
Yeah, when he does decide to attack the basket, Kevin, he can do it with the best of them.
And this is the time to attack with these 2 teams locked in such a close game.
Puts the move on, and it's good. Through contact, hits the shot. He'll go to the free throw line. Well, as Clark was talking about when referring to the Blazers, the bench scoring was a big problem for him as they didn't have anyone really outside their starting 5 that Steve could be counted on for 7 points or more a game.
Yeah, look, the NBA game is 48 minutes long. It's tough to survive for those full 4 quarters when you have no offensive punch off the bench. But I think this offseason they added a lot of firepower, a lot of scoring in reserve, and we'll see if that makes a difference for this team this year.
And Lillard kicks to Batum. Pocket 6. And again, it's the TrailBlazers from deep.
The thing you notice right off the bat from the statistics, just his three-point percentage. I mean, it's a terrific number, and it's a combination of things. Good shot selection, his mechanics are solid, and his movement on the perimeter is outstanding.
There's one other thing about him that I like. It's how easy he makes it look to change his shot in midair, and usually with defenders all around him. Because of that, it's really hard to block one of his shots.
Good on the shot. Lillard's got 9.
And they're on fire. They've made 4 straight shots to get this thing going.
Warriors trail by 4. Now here's Curry. Lee sets a screen for Curry. Pass to Bogut. Golden State needs to get off the shot. And the Warriors miss again.
Boy, it was an impressive turnaround for Mark Jackson and the Warriors last season. I mean, his promise of making the playoffs didn't come together in his first season at the controls, but in year 2, they got it done. And I tell you what, most thought Mark would be a really outstanding coach, and he's well on his way to making that a reality.
Gets the bucket. The TrailBlazers have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. And Lillard kicks to Matthews. Lopez a screen on Thompson. And Matthews throws it down.
Boy, taking it hard to the rack for the big throwdown.
And give an unofficial assist, Clark, to his teammate for setting the screen that freed him up.
Yeah, good call, Kevin. That was really the key to the play.
The Warriors trail. And for Mark Jackson, there have been some questions. He had never spent time as a coach, even as an assistant. I guess the question was, Steve, would he be able to take over the reins as a head coach?
Well, the biggest thing you want to do as an NBA coach is have your players buy into what you're selling. And Mark Jackson's been able to do that. His players believe in him. He motivates them. They like playing for him. And that's most of the battle right there.
Golden State's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Thompson for the triple. Another 3 for Golden State.
The defense sagged off, and he did not hesitate to rise up and bury that 3.
So timeout called here in the first for Portland. For Portland. Myers Leonard, he's checked in for Lopez. Thomas Robinson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Darrell Wright's checked in for Wesley Matthews. And Mo Williams subbed in for Damian Lillard. Here's Robinson. Here's the feed to Williams. 1:10 left in the first quarter. And that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Seven left to play here in the first.
It's funny. You look at the Golden State Warriors. They've had the 3rd best home court advantage in the league over the last decade or so. Only the Rocky Mountain teams, Denver and Utah, were better. In Oracle, it's not the altitude, it's the crowd. One of the best in all of the NBA.
Dishes to Batum. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Williams. Batum's got his first bucket in this one.
Great-looking bounce pass to set up that play.
And Clark, as you were saying about the Warriors, they really feed off this home crowd. Steve, you said they were the best in the NBA?
I think so, just in terms of the support they get, regardless of their success. You look back over the last 16, 17 years, the Warriors have only been in the playoffs twice, and yet the fans are there every single night going nuts. So now that they're a good team, I think this fan base is really going to come alive.
Leonard. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. The TrailBlazers shooting their third and fourth free throw shots of the night.
Well, you look back at a season ago, this is a club that made 78% of its shots from the free throw line, so very comfortable with that strike.
You know, success at the line just became contagious for him. A few guys got on a roll, and it carried over to the rest of the team.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
Well, as far as the league's big men go, he's one of the very best at the foul line.
Douglas can't hit.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's heading some fucking like that. Good job. You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And what a play to make in a close game, a potential momentum builder.
The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Trailblazers lead by 4. And the second quarter will get underway just after this short break. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the TrailBlazers.
You know, guys, we've really seen them do a lot of damage in the paint so far.
And the other thing we're seeing is great ball movement. We're seeing a lot of good offensive execution, ball movement, player movement, setting up assists.
Now let's send it to Doris on the sideline.
Gentlemen, with the youth movement in Portland last season, Nicholas Batum was getting starters minutes at small forward. Blazers coach Terry Stotts said, quote, "He's such a unique player. Shooting, quickness, length. As a coach, you see the possibilities. He's doing a little bit of everything." Batum said, "I know I do some good things, but I'm working on my weaknesses. I have to be more aggressive. I've got to do it all." Kevin, he's not yet satisfied.
Credit him for continuing to work. Thanks, Doris.
Guys, it's no surprise that a young team like the Blazers found it difficult sledding on the road. Not quite the experience or edge needed to put together good performances on a nightly basis away from home.
6 on the shot clock. Iguodala fires for 3. Kept the line. Here's Spates. The basket drops, and it's fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
That rebound and the foul kind of typify what he's all about. Just gritty, determined play.
The Warriors have made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line.
So they were very pleased with their free throw numbers a year ago. They knocked down about 79% from the stripe as a team.
You know, something you can point to when you're talking about their areas of success last season, free throw shooting.
Well, for the Blazers, statistically, they played as close as you could ask for as to when they played at home, but they didn't really have the roster to protect the rim, and Steve forced turnovers, which is always a big help on the road.
Yeah, their interior defense was a problem last year. A lot of teams just ate them up, particularly when Portland would go out on the road. That's one of the reasons they finished 11 and 30. You have to be able to defend at a high level to win away from home.
Just over a minute gone here in the second quarter. Douglas dishes to Iguodala. He kicks to Douglas. Offline with his 3. Portland leading by 6.
Tony Douglas, I thought, had a nice bounce-back season a year ago. Always a tough defender, guys. And he got his shot to start falling again, which has been AWOL for a bit.
Williams, that's a 2-pointer. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
Major defensive lapse right there. And he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. We're lucky he couldn't punish him for it. If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on the follow, just like he got there.
Outside, Batum. Back to Williams. Lets it go from the wing. Again, the Trailblazers good for 2. And Douglas out of Florida State, more of a combo guard.
Yeah, he's not a pure point or an elite scorer, but he is good defensively. You know he's going to get that from Florida State. And I like his aggressive mentality at that end of the floor.
That's good. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Batum with the ball. Running now by Barnes. Williams attacking. Can't get it to go. The Warriors go the other way. Barnes passes to Douglas. Portland grabs the miss.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
Right. An easy 2 points on the layup. And the Trailblazers lead by 6. The Warriors have gone 3 of 7 shooting the ball here in the second quarter. And here's Douglas. 5 points in the game. Shoots. It's rebounded by Leonard.
Well, he's been trying to add that mid-range shot to his arsenal, but it still isn't there.
Outside Williams. He dishes it to Batum. Batum off the pick from Leonard. Off the screen. Batum, good. And now it's an 8-point Portland lead.
Very effective screen to set up the jumper. That was the key to that play.
Douglas kicks to Iguodala. Deflected. Stolen by Robinson. Outside Batum. The dish to Williams. Wright sets a screen for Williams. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits.
Boy, you talk about a franchise having some terrible luck with injuries. Portland is certainly that team. A lot of emerging stars in Rip City have had their careers or tenure cut short because of injury. And the injury bug once again reared its head for Portland.
Now a timeout called by Portland. As you said with the Blazers throughout the ages, they've had to deal with injuries to guys like Walton and Oden and most recently Roy. Unfortunately, Steve, starting over is something that they used to do.
But they are in a pretty good position to do so right now, Kevin. I think they've been really good in the draft the last couple of years. Obviously, they got a star in Damian Lillard that they can build around. To me, the key is LaMarcus Aldridge. Can they re-sign him? Can he be that dominant low-post guy in Portland for the next 5 or 6 years? He sure has the potential.
Back to Lopez. And there's the pass to Williams. Lopez, a screen on Curry. Williams attacking. Batum inside the three-point line. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Williams. Williams has got 3 assists in the game. Taken away by Williams. And now Matthews pushing it up. No one back to stop him. A chance here to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, the Portland Trailblazers were a team that lacked for depth and shot creators last season. It was an encouraging summer. In the draft, they took C.J. McCollum with the 10th pick, Cal Berkeley's Allen Crabbe with the 31st, and then they signed Darrell Wright on trade for Robin Lopez and Thomas Robinson. The first 3 provide outside shooting and scoring. Robinson, a promising young rebounder, and Lopez poised to claim the starting role for center. Guys, with a relatively young team looking to grow, it was a great offseason for the Blazers.
It certainly seemed like they improved this offseason. Thanks, Doris.
David Lee, such a versatile big man. He rebounds, he can pass from the high post. He's got that mid-range jumper, and he can finish inside with either hand. Little hook shots, flip shots. He is a really, really good player.
And the Trailblazers making a change here. Lillard's checked in. And both free throws good for a lead.
And guys, you mentioned David Lee's ambidextrous finishing. I mean, Steve, he actually broke his left arm when he was in high school, and it forced him to develop his right hand in the meantime, and that's why he's so effective with both hands, and he's really made the most of it. Part of what makes him a tough guy to deal with.
And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second post. Mo Williams is checked in for Nicholas Batum. Thompson against Williams. Kicks it out to Iguodala. From downtown, Damian Lillard grabs the loose ball. TrailBlazers leading by 8. The shot and game clock separated by 4. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
Good work to tack some more points onto this lead.
Those are the kind of possessions they can build on and begin to pull away here.
Thompson outside. He feeds it to Curry. Shoots. Buries the jump shot. Curry's got his first 2 points. 8 seconds left to play in the first half. Williams for 3. And the buzzer beater's good.
And that is simply a dagger on the way to the locker room. That 3-pointer feels like a 6-pointer coming when it did right at the end of the half.
And so we wrap up the first half. It's the TrailBlazers up 11. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Welcome, everyone. Damon Bruce here. It's time to review all the goings-on from half number 1. Portland with the lead against Golden State. They've been having their way inside. A huge lead when it comes to points in the paint, making it very hard to defend against them. Mo Williams, Mo Betta. He's got 10 points, and as usual, he's been handing out a lot of assists. For the Warriors, they haven't had the same luck. Their three-point shooting has been nowhere to be found. It's really hurt them offensively. That's why they're behind. Stephen Curry hasn't been able to get it going. Everything's been rimming out for him. He's got to be frustrated. And that's all we have for you here in the studio. Now let's send it on back to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half of play.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And as we return, a lovely view of downtown San Francisco, panning over the Embarcadero and the Bay Bridge. We're seeing a tremendous game from Damian Lillard.
You know, he spoils us with his performances game in and game out, and so far, just another big scoring night for him.
Typically, when he puts up that many points in the first half, he's going to follow it up with a better second half. We'll see if that happens here. Well, the Warriors going to the playoffs last season for just the second time in 19 seasons, guys. Pretty incredible and remarkable, too, but it seems, as Mark Jackson said, that things be a-changing in the Bay Area, and for the better.
A shot by Batum, no good. Warriors trail by 11. Curry with it. And he hits the jumper for 2. Curry's got the first field goal of the second half for the Warriors. And for the Warriors, a scrappy, hard-fought win over the Denver Nuggets in 6 games. They also, Steve, gave the Spurs a lot of trouble in the second half.
They sure did. That series might have turned out a lot different if they hadn't collapsed in game 1. But the Warriors showed tremendous resilience in bouncing back and really making that series so competitive.
Lets it go with the 3. Gets it together. Curry's got 5 points in the quarter.
More confusion defensively.
Well, you know what? He sent the D a little message with that three.
Lillard outside. Kicks to Aldridge. On the wing, Batum. Portland moving the ball around. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Portland needs to get off the shot. Gets it to go.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
I think it's time to make some adjustments defensively, Clark. I mean, what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
And the Warriors decide to take their first time out here.
Damian Lillard was really a steady floor general, guys. I think we still have a lot to see as to how much of a playmaker he'll become. Remember, he was the man in college. Without a lot of other scoring options to rely on, he carried Weber State offensively. And I think that's going to serve him well throughout the rest of his NBA career. More point guards have to be able to score as well as run the team in the way the league is playing now.
Lee dishes to Curry. Launches a 3. The shot will not go.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
Lillard outside. Fires from deep. And the rebound goes to David Lee. Lee's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And Damian Lillard last season, Steve, averaging 6.5 assists a game.
And those numbers should get better because, Lillard's going to get better. The Blazers will continue to add to their roster. They had one of the worst benches in the league last season. So if you put a couple more scores alongside Lillard, those assist totals will go up.
I think Clark's right. We'll have to see in time how his playmaking develops.
And they made 3 of their first 4 shots here to start this half.
Time called here. The Blazers decide to talk it over.
Well, a lot of basketball pundits, so to speak, would like to eliminate lottery pick protection outside the top 3 from trades. They feel it gives teams too strong an incentive to tank. You look at the Blazers last season, they owed their pick to the Bobcats if it was 13th or lower, and they finished the season 8-26 after going 500 at that point. So maybe a little suspicious.
Stolen by Thompson. A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. 8 feet away, and the Warriors take on 2 more. Ron Clark going back to the Blazers. They finished the season among the worst defensive teams in the entire league.
And that's where they got to improve, Kevin. They did a decent job with 9 looks on the perimeter, but they didn't get blocks or steals, so not a real force defensively. And among the worst in fast break points and points in the paint as well, so they clearly have some areas they can show up.
Mo Williams is checked in for Portland. Feeds it to Batum. Shot clock at 6. It's good. Great play by Williams to set it up. That's now 8 points for Nicholas Batum.
He had his choice of finishing moves there, and you just got to love the fact he went old school with the finger roll.
Curry passes it to Thompson. Kicks it out to Iguodala. Buries the one-hand killer. Iguodala's got 7.
Well, the shots finally dropping for them in bunches, and I'll tell you what, the bunching this game has totally changed.
You know, that kind of offensive eruption was the only thing that was going to get them back into this one.
That's a 2 for Matthews. Again, the TrailBlazers scores.
You know, offensively, he's just one of those guys that needs a touch of space to get his shot off. That's all. And if he runs his man off a screen or somehow finds an opening, then that's it. He's going to let that thing go.
And something else I think of with him is that three-point shot from the corner. I mean, that's his shot. And we've certainly seen him drain a bunch of them.
Iguodala with it. Matthews covers. Goes straight to the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. It's on LaMarcus Aldridge.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he picks the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
And those could be an important 2 points, too, guys, in a close game like this one.
The TrailBlazers making a switch here. Azili's checked in, and Iguodala no good on that one.
You know, it's very rare that you're going to be able to make the playoffs in the West without coming out with a winning record against the rest of the conference. And the Warriors knew that would be important in their quest for the playoffs, and they handled business against the West.
And Lillard kicks to Matthews. Sinks the three-pointer. Matthews has got 5 points now in the quarter.
A little bit of a defensive breakdown there. He's not the guy you want to leave open on the perimeter. You've got to stay attached to him.
Outside Curry. 1:11 left to play here in the third. The drive by Iguodala. Pass to Azili. Thompson. Pulls up. Tries again. Tried to bank it in, but he misses. TrailBlazers leading by 6. Lillard dishes to Williams. Go to the line with a chance to make it 3. Well, and for the Warriors who fought so hard to get back into the playoffs, last year their 28-24 record against the rest of the West really helped their cause.
Well, the toughest part of the Warriors' last campaign was a rough stretch of games in February where they dropped off a bit in the race. And, you know, a lot of those games were against Western teams. And if you kind of remove that month, their in-conference record is even more impressive.
Myers Leonard, he's checked in for Portland. Batum comes in for Wesley Matthews. Warriors trail by 9. Outside Curry. From the arc. The shot is off. And it's Portland the other way. The shot and game clock separated by 4. Williams against Iguodala. Williams passes to Aldridge. The feed to Lillard. Outside Williams. On deep. Offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Lillard. The points coming in bunches as we wrap up the third quarter. It's been a good one. Trailblazers lead by 9. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Oracle Arena in Oakland, California. Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. In a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Trailblazers.
They've knocked down plenty of mid-range jumpers in this one. That's been big for them.
And another thing that's obviously helped them here, guys, is how hot they've been from the three-point line. They've been on fire.
And that one's good.
Something's starting to click for this team, guys. You can feel it. The three-pointers are dropping. Their offense is flowing.
They've had a great second half from long range.
Back to Batum. Passes it to Lillard. Lillard left side. Shot no good. And Golden State will go the other way with it. Iguodala with it. Lillard picks him up. It's Iguodala with the drive. Thompson for the triple. Lillard with the rebound.
Couldn't convert, but nice little two-man game there.
And it wouldn't surprise me to see them go back to that the next trip.
Matthews. Great use of the pick to create room for the jumper. And the Trailblazers lead by 9.
The screenplay worked ideally there, and I'm not talking about the screenplay you see in a movie theater. Gave him more than enough room to get that shot off.
On the wing, Iguodala. Good on the triple. Iguodala's got 10 points here in the second half.
Really shaking off that cold shooting performance of the first half.
Time call here. The Blazers decide to talk it over.
Well, you know, Andrew Bogut essentially missed the first half of last season as he continued rehab from his ankle injury from early 2012. The team did a pretty good job of holding down the fort in his absence. Got off to a hot start, but no question about it. He gives this team a whole different dimension inside when he's healthy.
Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
Yes, I had a chance to find out what the Trailblazers head coach was going over with his guys. He said we are this close to finishing them off, but the job is not done yet, and I don't want to see any let-up out there. We'll see how well this point got across, guys.
Thanks again, Doris. Going back to Bogut, the Warriors took a little heat early on at that trade. You know, they sent their highest-scoring guard, Monte Ellis, for Bogut to Milwaukee, and they had to wait a long while for the big man because he came injured to Golden State.
Well, that was the main reason people were upset. They traded their leading scorer for a guy who couldn't even play because he was on the sidelines. But once he was healthy, the trade made perfect sense. Golden State had plenty of firepower in the backcourt. They needed the size and defense that Bogut brought them.
And Thompson kicks to Barnes. Outside off the mark. Trailblazers leading by 6. Lillard outside. He passes to Aldridge. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
You know, one of the things you love about Aldridge is his offensive versatility. I mean, he's a big guy that's obviously a threat in the post, but he's really worked to make himself a threat from the elbows, the edges of that foul lane area, and he's quite dangerous there, too.
And he knocks down the first one. And going back to Aldridge, Clark, great skill, and for his size, you know, Steve, he can really move.
Good point, Kevin. Defenders try to front him in the post, and he'll continually roll right to the rim or across the lane to create a better passing angle for his guards.
Andre Iguodala is checked in for David Lee. And so he makes both from the line.
And LaMarcus Aldridge, an all-star for the 3rd straight season. You know, looking back, he's really been the jewel of that 2006 draft class where he went 2nd overall.
Curry with him. Lillard picks him up. Thompson right side. Fades back, and the shot is good. Clark, you talk about Aldridge and what he's meant to the TrailBlazers. Really the franchise player, Steve, in Portland. I think they look at him that way.
And for a team that had to rebuild on the fly after losing so many of their key players to injury, going back to Brandon Roy and Greg Oden, it's nice to see the Blazers bounce back and start to get Aldridge some help with guys like Damian Lillard and Batum and Matthews.
Warriors trail by 8. Outside Curry. Pass to Thompson. Outside for Curry. That's the 3-5. The shot no good. Now Portland takes it the other way. They've led by as many as 11 points. Iguodala against Batum. Dishes it to Lillard. He kicks to Lopez. Back to Lillard from outside the arc. Gets it to go. And now an 11-point Portland lead.
I like the way they've played here in the first half. Just an intelligent floor game, getting good shots.
Numbers certainly back that up. They're shooting a much better percentage.
Now a timeout called by Golden State. During this timeout, I'm sure they'll be hydrating themselves with Gatorade. All the effort out there on the floor. And these timeouts can be such a huge factor in getting a short rest and recharging the battery. And the Warriors making a change here. Lee's checked in. Curry against Lillard. Another miss by Curry.
You'd expect him to nail that one being that close to the hoop.
Now Lillard. Back to Batum. Back to Lillard. The Warriors pulled in.
Well, those chances are almost always 2 points for him. I guess the defense did what it had to do.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the obvious by saying, always go to your teammate. You go to where he needs to be.
Well, Iguodala is one of the elite perimeter defenders in the game. You know, what I love about him is he can guard any of the perimeter positions. 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter. He's so mobile and active, great anticipation, and a really good help defender as well.
Yeah, he's outstanding. Even if he's not at the point of attack, he's always lurking in the passing lanes. His defensive awareness enhances his great physical gifts at that end of the floor.
The 17-footer. Lillard misses. Warriors trail by 9. Curry with it. Matthews covering. Thompson dishes to Curry. Iguodala the pass to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Good. Iguodala's got 7 points for the quarter.
Well, I tell you what, he's having one of those days where if he takes it, he makes it.
1:07 left in the fourth quarter. TrailBlazers leading by 7. Lillard attacking. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending goal. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it different. They'll count the basket.
A lot of noise coming from these fans. Pretty unhappy with that call.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of amateur officials in the crowd, and not one of them liked it.
Timeout called the Warriors. They're behind by 9. There's 57 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Curry kicks to Iguodala. He dishes it to Thompson. From deep three-point range, Warriors the rebound. Here's Bogut.
close, but I didn't think he got on balance quickly enough.
And it's hard to draw charges as quick as players are at this level. That's not an easy bit of work there.
And that hits as he doesn't get the first one to fall. Trying to focus now on the second. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Myers-Leonard, he's checked in for Lopez. Thomas Robinson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Darrell Wright's checked in for Nicholas Batum. And Krebs subbed in for Wesley Matthews. And no good on the second free throw, so he goes 0 for 2 there. Portland's gone 5 of 10 from downtown tonight. 50% exactly. Grab the pass to Williams. Right side Leonard. Portland moving the ball around. The dish to Williams. 6 to shoot. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one.
He drops the first one. That'll push the lead to double digits. Ezeli's checked in for Golden State. And both free throws good for Williams.
And that's exactly how you close a game out. Those free throws will bury them for sure.
And nothing you can do to salvage this one at this point. Game over.
Not anymore. Any chance they had is gone.
And so it's Portland in this one. They came, they saw, they got you.
Hey, Kevin, to me, any win is a good win.